Chevrolet and your Super Chevy dealers proudly present Paradise, Louisiana with Gary Risponi and Don Dubuque. Paradise, Louisiana, powered by Chevrolet, would also like to thank these sponsors.
Simmons Sporting Goods, the South's largest hunting outfitters. Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company. Aerial Access, the leader in aerial work process. Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change. Cracker Barrel Convenience Store. We have more than you expect. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana. Farm Bureau Insurance. Louisiana Fish Fry Products. Demco. Area Wholesale Tire Company with tire programs for tire dealers.
Welcome to Paradise, Louisiana, powered by your Super Chevy dealers. I'm Gary Risponi.
I'm Don Dubuque. Boy, it's been a busy week, huh?
You've been a busy week for you, and I had a lot of traveling, but I don't know if I had all the fun you had. You still catching those fish?
Well, Mike Gallo and I had a great time fishing this week. We kind of did a mock redfish tournament feature where we subjected ourselves to all the restrictions that redfish tournament fishing would have to endure at the HT3 Redfish Series finale. The two fish, 16 to 27 inch, artificial only, and it was a lot of fun. And Mike's got some tips. You know, redfish tournaments are on the incline, and you're going to get a chance to fish some of those. You see them by CCA sponsors some. LA Saltwater Series has got a good circuit. IFA, there's more and more of them. And if you're thinking about doing it, Mike's got some tips on how to fish in a tournament as opposed to just fishing for fun.
Well, you did some other things too. Last week when you was at Delacroix, you opened the gate, because I talked to a lot of friends that were down there right after you did. Dow Jams was one. They had 170 trout fishing over there with Captain Jack. I heard there's some good reports coming from Hopedale, so we'll save that for the fishing report. But I'm going to tell you what, from the lodge and all over, we're getting some speckled trout finally.
And you had a little busy week. You got to do a little bit.
I say a busy. I did a lot of traveling. I got a call from Top Gun, Mer Rouge, and my friends up there in Mer Rouge, Louisiana, up north of Bastrop. I wanted another chance to go visit Simmons and talk to Jeff, see what's going on there. I really went over there to dove hunt, and also to get a report for the upcoming season about the habitat. In Mer Rouge, they had a drought one year, and they had a lot of flood. Had a little couple of rough years for anybody else, but to them, it was just amazing. They always kill. So I talked to Kobe Daniels, and I got a little report on that, and I watched them shoot little doves and find out how it is up there in the Northeast. Also, I made a trip to the Live Oak Arabians at a wild night. I went up there, and it was a wild night. It was packed. It was a good people. I tell you, Kel McKinnis and all those people do a great job. It was at the Live Oak Arabians, and it was the Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries Foundation. Right. And that's where they raised the money to help some of the projects, that not only for the Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries, but for other organizations that contribute to them. That Saltwater Series is one of them.
Well, October's a busy month for those type of events. Most associations and organizations put on their banquets and their fundraisers. We got a lot of those to talk about with Ducks Unlimited coming up. But the focus of today's program, very important. We're going to have guest Mike Woods, who is the Inland Fisheries Program Manager for Department of Wildlife and Fisheries, and a subject that rears its ugly head every so often is that 14-inch limit in the Atchafalaya Basin. And he's going to come here and give us the results of an ongoing study to find out, is it working or is it not?
And I'm telling you what, anybody that's from tournament fishermen to weekend warriors, for 20 years, I keep keeping the season 92 to it's going by so fast. I can't believe 20 years went by so fast. It's just a lot of controversy and a lot of thoughts, and we're going to give them a chance to send your thoughts to the right people.
Right, so you want to be attuned to the whole issue, get as informed on it as you can, because you will be asked to become part of the solution to it, of what we want to do with our, really a great treasure in this state, the Atchafalaya Basin. So we got a busy program. Put your seatbelt on, get ready for it. We'll be right back with Paradise, Louisiana.
Not only that, the Silverado's powertrain warranty is 40,000 miles more than Ford.
And this workhorse gives you the power of a V8 with the highway fuel economy of a V6.
Incredible,
right?
That was an amazing test drive.
I agree.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Now during Chevy Truck Month, get 0% APR financing for 60 months or get the 2012 Chevy Silverado Custom Sport with a total value of $7,000. Plus, trade up for an additional $1,000 trade-in allowance. Hurry in before they're all gone.
Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change has been keeping cars and trucks in Baton Rouge clean and running smooth for over 50 years. At Benny's, we feature professional car washing, complete detailing, high-tech waxing and buffing, interior cleaning, and tire shine. Benny's, one stop for car maintenance with complete oil and lube services and even state inspections at our express locations. Visit one of our 5 convenient locations, including our newest store on Greenwell Springs Road. And don't forget to stop by Be Quick Convenience Store and Fuel Stop. Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change. Drive in dirty, drive out clean.
Get more for your buck while the hunt is on at Simmons Sporting Goods. Hunt undetected in a new Scentlock Mirage jacket or pant. Your choice, only $149.99. New for primitive weapon season, the CVA Stalker, camo stainless with rings and base in 35 wheeling, only $349.99. Or the CVA Elite Stalker, just $279.99. We're open till 6, Monday through Saturday, and Sunday from noon to 5. Or shop all the store-wide savings at SimmonsSportingGoods.com.
Of all the tools in your house, this could easily be the most dangerous, but it doesn't have to be. At Dimco, we can't stress this enough. Just keep it and you far away from power lines.
Demco, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Oh, Don Dubuque, oh, lucky guy I know with fishing. You got the best job in the world, and I'm telling you what, the last couple of years, I don't think it maybe 1 or 2 trips you had that were bad.
Well, and the bad ones were more caused by the weather conditions than anything else. You know, we've always been able to get with the right guys, and that's the key. You go with these professional guides and fishermen who are out there on a regular basis, your chances of having a bad trip are a lot less. And this week was no exception. Had a little fun this week. The Redfish Series finale, for some reason, didn't work out in Destin. They lost it over there, and Slidell grabbed it and brought it over to Slidell. This was the culmination of a year-long series of redfish tournaments, and this was basically their championship. And we'll talk more about that later. But Captain Mike Gallo and I decided to have a little fun with this. And what we did was we put ourselves under all the same restrictions and regulations that a tournament fisherman would do. We met there at the tournament headquarters. We let all the fishermen leave. We had to get back 3 hours earlier than they did because we had to edit it and get it on TV. But we did everything, abide by all the regulations. We 2 of us in the boat, only fishing artificials, 16 to 27 inches. Basically followed all, had to bring the fish in live, and we didn't do too bad. We came back with just under 12 pounds for our 2 fish.
You ain't going to tell us, you're going to show us.
We're going to show you. In fact, we're going to get Mike Gallo, who has fished a lot of tournaments. In fact, he's spoken on behalf of CCA and a lot of their events, giving folks some advice on how to target the right size redfish, which is one of the keys, how to keep them alive, some of the baits to use, and how do you actually locate these schools of exactly the right fish to win a tournament.
Y'all do some sight fishing also?
We tried. We did see a few of them, but it was a little difficult. Water was a little off color. Fish weren't real active as far as running, but they did give themselves away. And once you got a bait in front of them, this was one of those times when they didn't really spook that easy. They were pretty much a participant. So if you plan to fish any of the upcoming redfish tournaments, and there are going to be more of them showing up each year, here's some tips from Captain Mike Gallo on how to become a winner.
Oh, 2 casts, 2 fish. Look at this.
I didn't want Mike to waste.
He's a lot bigger.
Down and coming
He's a
back.
lot bigger.
Let's see if he's not.
The key to winning redfish tournaments is not catching the most fish or the biggest fish. It's catching the right fish, those closest to 27 inches. And Mike, how do you target 27-inch redfish?
Redfish stay in the marsh until they're about 27 inches in length. And then they're mature enough to reproduce, they migrate out to open water. So the key is to find the largest concentration of redfish, catch as many as you can and cull through them, get the right size and the right weight. These guys really put in a lot of effort and a lot of homework to get to the tournaments and then to be successful in the tournaments. He's fat though.
Mm-hmm.
Got him?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna guess 4. 4 1/4.
315.
There's a lot of different lures that you can use for catching the redfish. I've really gotten very familiar with the jerk bait here recently. I can throw it just about anywhere. I can throw it deep into the grass and pull it out. You can see that it's pretty weedless. They'll eat it real readily. The spinnerbait works very well. Spoons are good. You can kind of fit it to the day. On a day where you have a lot of wind, something with a small profile will cast easily. The spoons will cast easily as well in lots of wind. Today's wind was moderate, where we could throw the spinners like you did and the jerk bait like I did, and they were both successful.
One of the important things about fishing in redfish tournaments is you have to bring your fish in live to the weigh-in, and it's important that you take the proper steps to keep those fish healthy.
Well, we have nice large live wells on the boat. We're circulating water. This time of year, the water's cool, so that helps a lot. The problem I run into is when I get in shallow water and I suck up mud, and then the mud will get in the gills of the fish and kill him. So you got to try to keep your water clean. It's a team sport, so one guy on the boat, that's his designated duty to check on the fish, make sure the water stays clean, make sure they stay healthy. He's in that same class. I will fetch the net.
He might be a flipper. No, I think he's a netter. Like we can make another call, huh? Uh-oh.
Can't tickle his tail. Well, I look for bait movement along the shoreline. Obviously, you're going to find predators where you find prey. And we look for any type of movement in the water. Sometimes you'll see the actual fish, sometimes just a movement. You may see his tail, you may see a ripple, some indication that there's a larger fish there than you have been seeing. And you can certainly cast in that area several times. And they're very aggressive. They were real aggressive today. If we got close to them, they bit.
Oh, went right by my bait.
That's why you use it. He made it, though.
I won't be able to weigh this one in the tournament, but I'm sure going to put him to good use.
Mr. Gary, we're going to miss the morning bite. If you want food and snacks, we better hurry up.
I tell you what, you pump the gas, I'll get the food. Now I'm ready.
Let's go, man.
Visit Cracker Barrel convenience stores before heading fishing or hunting. We have more than you expect.
You're watching Paradise, Louisiana.
When did insurance companies start emailing handshakes? Why is a billboard the only place you see your agent's face? Who decided you can't have good rates and good coverage? If you're questioning your insurance options, get real answers from a real person with a Farm Bureau Confidential Insurance Review. It's simple, quick, and tailored just for you. Call today. Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people.
We build tires, but not like anybody else. We build our tires for people. People with places to go and reasons to get there. Like get up to $75 back on 4 qualifying Cooper tires during our Take the Money and Ride event. Get your rebate form and complete terms and conditions at a participating Cooper Tire dealer or CooperTireRebates.com. Life's a road trip. Come on, let's go.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana. You saw Captain Mike Gallo and I basically mock participating in that Redfish Series, but it came to Slidell, Louisiana, the HT Redfish Series finale. This was 32 teams that had qualified through a year-long qualification process of tournaments that qualified to fish in this one. Last Thursday and Friday, those teams went out. The top 10 after 2 days came back on Saturday to compete for a share or all of $100,000 in boat and in cash prizes. The tournament went very, very well. The weather was good. Some outstanding stringers came in. The winning team basically had about an 8-pound average for 3 days.
Look, because it went so well, there's a good chance that it's going to return to Louisiana.
Well, not only because the fishing was so good, but the hospitality part that the St. Tammany Parish Tourism jumped in on and got behind this thing and put on spouses tours, gave them dinners, and just really rolled the red carpet out for these folks. There's a very good chance that Florida will not get to see this Redfish Series finale again. The St. Tammany Parish Tourism Commission basically turned it into a mini festival. They invited the Department of Wildlife and Fisheries Saltwater Series, came out there. They did fish identification. They did the fish prints for the kids. Danica Williams, who seems to show up everywhere with the Wish to Fish program, was giving some casting demonstrations to the kids. And the parish president of St. Tammany, Pat Brister, actually offered a fishing tournament within the tournament called the President's Cup. And they asked me how to line it up, and what I did was I said, well, let's do a Grand Slam +1. We made a category for businesses or elected officials to get their team and go out there and come back with the biggest of each of 5 species, which was redfish, black drum, speckled trout, flounder, and sheephead. Winning team, as we thought would happen, caught over a 24-pound black drum, which put them over the limit, and they won. But everybody out there had a lot of fun. It was at the dock in Slidell, which is right at the mouth of the canal to Eden Isles. Weather was pretty. It was just one of those perfect event type of days and weekends.
No, with Danica Bailey Williams, and she was at the Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries Foundation banquet also. Her and CT, they're getting around a good bit. I tell you what, they do some great work too.
Very good.
Well, it's exciting. I'm so glad that Louisiana is getting it back. I think we deserve it. We got the best fishing, got some of the best people, and all our tourism around the state are tremendously right now to bringing people in.
Well, we're finally getting the recognition.
Yeah, and they're getting some money in, especially since the oil spill. You know, they doubled their efforts too. So.
Well, get involved, fish a redfish tournament. You won't be disappointed. You'll have a lot of fun. We'll be right back with Paradise Louisiana.
Not only that, the Silverado's powertrain warranty is 40,000 miles more than Ford.
And this workhorse gives you the power of a V8 with the highway fuel economy of a V6.
Incredible.
Right?
That was an amazing test drive.
I agree.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Now during Chevy Truck Month, get 0% APR financing for 60 months or get the 2012 Chevy Silverado Custom Sport with a total value of $7,000. Plus, trade up for an additional $1,000 trade-in allowance. Hurry in before they're all gone.
Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change has been keeping cars and trucks in Baton Rouge clean and running smooth for over 50 years. At Benny's, we feature professional car washing, complete detailing, high-tech waxing and buffing, interior cleaning, and tire shine. Benny's, one stop for car maintenance with complete oil and lube services and even state inspections at our express locations. Visit one of our 5 convenient locations, including our newest store on Greenwell Springs Road. And don't forget to stop by Be Quick Convenience Store and Fuel Stop. Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change. Drive in dirty, drive out clean.
See what you've been missing when the hunt is on at Simmons Sporting Goods. Hunt like a pro for less with the Moultrie Pro Hunter Tripod Feeder, only $89.99. Plan your hunt with the Moultrie GameSpot D55 Infrared Camera, now $119.99. See just how big he is with the Moultrie Big Game Scale, a low $16.99. And big things come in small packages like the Moultrie Minicam M80 XT, just $129.99. Shop all the store-wide savings at SimmonsSportingGoods.com.
And welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana. Joining us is Mike Wood, who is the manager of the Office of Inland Fisheries with Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries. Welcome aboard, Mike.
Thanks. Great to be here.
Mike, you guys have just completed a study, basically some data gathering information to address a subject that comes up quite often, and anybody who fishes the Atchafalaya Basin is certainly interested in. So if you would, tell us first of all, what areas were impacted that you studied, and what was the purpose of this study?
Well, it's been a long-standing issue of the Atchafalaya Basin and how are you going to manage bass in the Atchafalaya Basin. Way back in 1992, of course, Hurricane Andrew roared through and killed 200 million fish overnight. And so from that point, what do you do? And so the department came through with some regulations that were designed to kind of get the bass back on their feet, save some of the spawners, and allow them to replenish the basin. And it worked great, but I'm not so sure that it wouldn't have worked anyway. A few adult bass can really do a great job, and I think that's probably what has happened over many millions of years. But either way, the 14-inch minimum has remained until now, and it's still in place. And so we designed a study to determine if it is or is it not responsible for benefit. And the bottom line is our study determined that the basin is a very resilient fisheries, and the 14-inch minimum that was designed first to protect a few brood fish and kind of carried on under the guise of producing more large bass is not quite effective for that.
All right, so when we say Atchafalaya Basin, what actual water bodies are we talking about?
Well, in this case, we're talking about Atchafalaya Basin and some surrounding water bodies, Palourde, Verret, the general vicinities, the same areas that the 14-inch minimum
all
was
south
imposed.
Of 190 too, also.
Correct, correct. Where the 14-inch minimum was implemented back in those days. This study was designed to determine the effect of that regulation.
So how did you go about designing this study to get results to find out where we do stand with it? What methods did you use?
Well, it's all determined by what the bass can do. And so you need to know how fast bass grow, and you need to know how long they live, and you need to know what anglers catch. If you know all those things, then you can determine the benefit, if you will, of a regulation. Now, what we found was that the bass, what you wouldn't think, they don't grow very fast in the basin. They eat a lot of crawfish, which is kind of like candy as opposed to fish that's going to put a lot of growth on them. And they don't live very long.
Well, you know, since it lasted 10 years, it wasn't supposed to last 10 years, the survey, but since
two years.
2 years.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think that there's 20 years? Yeah, excuse me. That also helped you in the study, though, because you went that long, y'all had more time to study it. Right?
Well, that's right. In terms of the study itself and our confidence of the study as a viable answer, yes, we're very comfortable with the fact that our conclusion is sound. We've had a long period to determine what's going to happen. And I guess that one of the biggest things was, I mean, we found that from an age and growth standpoint and from an angler standpoint, it's not that effective a regulation, but the trump card really is the storms, the exposure to storms. If you have a management technique that takes time for benefits, I mean, in this case, we're going to release some fish and they're going to grow up, and then later I'm going to come back and be able to catch larger fish. Well, in lots of cases, that is a sound proposition. You can expect that those fish are going to be there. But in the basin, you can't. We had an event not so long ago, Hurricane Isaac. Had it been 40 miles west, we would have lost another group of fish that we've protected in the basin. And that's been the history of this regulation. From Andrew to Lily to Rita to Gustav, we've lost a lot of fish that we saved.
Right, and that's what's frustrating to most of the anglers, the weekend anglers, the weekend warriors, and even some of the tournament fishermen. Some of these tournament fishermen out there right now are having second thoughts about what's going on, you know, because spillway it's also great for tournaments, but they fish tournaments in landlocked lakes and everything else. So this is everybody's baby. This is the majority of the people. This is a recreational paradise that everybody has. I recall my uncle, you know, and everybody knew him. He was at that land. He'd go by himself, and he was in his 80s, and he just loved bass fishing, and he would go by himself. He couldn't get anybody to go, and we used to worry about him. But when they put that lemon in, he would go out there and fish all day. Wouldn't say nothing. He couldn't keep but four. He didn't have but 4 keepers, maybe 5 keepers, catch 50 fish. And I thought about it. His life is about to come to an end. That last 7 or 8 years of his life, he did not get to use that spillway like he should have. And that's some of the frustration that a lot of people have.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this survey and all this information can be found on your website, right?
Yes, it can. It's on our Wildlife and Fisheries website. I'm sure you guys have got the information for your viewers. Mm-hmm. It's under our news releases, and there's a little open letter that I've wrote to everybody. Just give them just a gist of it. And if you read the little short letter, you know what we're come up with. But it also has a link to go through the technical report, which is about 15 pages. It's very scientific. We're comfortable with it as a scientific document, and if you want to go through that, there it is. It's available. But if you read the little short thing, you get the answer.
Mike, y'all going to be seeking opinions. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
And it's not going to alter the scientific fact, but it might weigh in on what your final decision is.
No doubt. We serve anglers. They're the ones that pay my salary. So I want to know what they want out of their fishery. Now, this survey is telling them that the 14-inch minimum is not effective. That doesn't mean bass management is not effective. That doesn't mean that it's not one of the best fisheries in the world. It is. But it just means that this is route we probably should be rethinking it. But what I need to know is, what do they want out of their fishery? That gives us guidance as to how we manage it, what tools we use to get to where they want to be.
Some of the media, how can the media help you get those answers?
Right now, I want the word out. I want this study to be out to the masses. I want everybody to take the time to look at it, see what it says, digest it, think about where we want to go from that point, and then let us know. We'll open up a little button on our website to just have everybody have some input. And we're going to see what they want. That's the main thing, is what do anglers want out of their fishery? And then we'll respond, we'll come up with something that's biologically sound, and then let them think about that. Here's what we want to do. Anyway, they need to participate, let us know what they want, make sure that we're on the right track for trying to get that for them.
So the suggestion is, read the information, go to the website, read the study, find out what it says, understand the dynamics of the Atchafalaya Basin, what the bass population can be, what it can't be, how it recovers. Be as well informed on it as you can, and by the time your survey comes to them, they'll be able to make a well-educated decision.
That's the first step. Just get a little information. Here it is. Take a read and see what it says.
Talk among yourself, too.
Oh, yeah. We went through a lot of trouble putting this together, and I'm very comfortable that it means what it says.
I tell you what, we got a few more questions we want to ask you. Would you stick around when we come back again a little later? I got a few more questions I want to talk about, maybe the rest of the state. That might be a benefit to people, especially the freshwater fishermen in Louisiana. So stay tuned. You're watching Paradise Louisiana, powered by your Super Chevy dealer.
In Paradise, Louisiana.
You might think you hate health food, but you love gumbo. You love shrimp. You love crawfish. You love fish. Nah, you don't hate health food. You love Louisiana seafood. That's why Blue Cross is partnering with the Louisiana Seafood Board. Visit LouisianaSeafoodForLife.com to find healthy recipes, vote on your favorite seafood dish, and enter to win weekly prizes. Brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Louisiana and its Louisiana Two-Step program.
Oh, that's the way I like it.
Nothing's better than boiled seafood, spiced just right.
Oh, yeah.
And Louisiana Fish Fry Products makes it easy to boil right every time.
Can't get enough.
Grab a bag. There's nothing to mix. Just pour and boil.
Oh, now you're cooking.
Crawfish, crab, or shrimp. With Louisiana Fish Fry Products, you got boiling down easy.
Oh, that's the way I like it.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana. We're talking about the 14-inch limit in the Atchafalaya Basin. Mike Woods, the Inland Fisheries Freshwater Division of Wildlife and Fisheries, is with us. And Mike, according to your survey and the study that you've done, you've already told us that the 14-inch really isn't having much of an impact on the basin at all. From that, what are some of the possibilities that might be able to be done with the fishery once you get the input from the anglers to know what they want?
Well, I mean, I guess the main thing is a management technique that takes time, runs the same exposure to tropical storms that the 14-inch minimum is. But that's not to say that that's all we can do. The basin, probably the biggest thing you can do is to control habitat, make sure that the habitat's in as good a shape as possible. There's some water fluctuation that you possibly could do. Of course, there's some restrictions based, from the Corps that would limit that. But regulation is not necessarily the only thing that you can do in terms of bass management.
How is the relationship with the Corps and also the aquatic, the grass problems?
Yeah.
A lot of that has been worked on also, right?
Well, no doubt, and it's a big mix of things that all influence the bass population.
Dollars too.
Well, yeah, there's dollars as well. The water fluctuation thing, the basin has its own set of problems. Outside of everything else, we've trained a river to take most of the water, and so from that, sheet flow is impaired. Then we get it's reduced, and then we get some water quality issues there that are troubling.
If you look around all the states, this hurricane, no doubt, affected the Mississippi River. Down in Venice right now, fish was outstanding for the last couple of years. All of a sudden, right now, killed a lot of good grass, and they're having a hard time finding a few bass down in Venice right now. Venice always comes back. Chapel Spillway always comes back. Some of the inland lakes, some of the slot lakes around the state, some of these same studies are going on right now pertaining to the slot limit?
They are. The basin, obviously a hot topic. It's one that we wanted to get the information out first. You've got big population centers, tons of folks that fish the basin, critical area, and this is a long-standing question. But this same type of study, this what we're calling our mortality project, it gives us information on how old bass can get, how fast they grow, and how anglers influence them, are going on throughout the state. Every district, every one of my districts, which is 9 districts throughout the state, we've assigned them at least one lake within their area. And it's going to be the most prominent lakes, or it may be one that already has a regulation that we want to evaluate. Every one of those is assigned this same project for bass and even crappie. There's a lot of call for crappie or sac-a-lait, white perch, for regulations on them. And it's the same thing. People value their resource, and so if there's anything that they think can make it better, they're all for it. Our point is, let's get the information out to determine if, in fact, some of these proposals are sound.
Mike, we didn't introduce you. We told you your title. Where are you from, Mike?
I'm from West Monroe, and I've spent a lot of time. I'm 30 years in on freshwater fisheries. I've covered the whole state, and I really think I've learned a lot about how things tick. If you only focus on rivers or only on impoundments, then you only know part of the picture. But when you kind of broaden your scope to places like the Atchafalaya Basin, which is totally unique, you pick up stuff all along the way. And so I'm very grateful for the opportunity to learn throughout the whole state all of the different waters that we have.
I don't know if you have time to answer all these inquiries, but how could they get in touch with you? People around the state, people from your home, talking about crappie, sac-a-lait, white perch, or anywhere. How can they get in touch with Mike Woods?
Well, I'm not hard to get in touch with. Just contact Wildlife and Fisheries, and they know where I'm at. They'll direct anything to me, and I'm always open to any type of concerns or input that any of the anglers have, because, again, I work for them. And so I need to know what they want. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to direct or change things in that way, but it's very important to know what the people who pay your salary want, and then we can get there somehow. We obviously all want a good fishery, we want big fish, we want lots of fish, but you can't always have all of that. So,
well, Don, I know you, your radio show, and then Joe with the paper and everybody. Everybody's trying to get the word out. I'm seeing it around right now, and I want to help. I want to offer 2 ideas, too.
All right.
My opinion right now, and maybe a little early, but I like the idea, if people are worried about catching too many fish, I like a 7-fish limit, 7-fish creel, and no size limit. And you can let all the big fish go. I want some good filet. The same way it is down in the marsh, and it's a 10-fish limit. Fish are abundant. I'm talking about the Atchafalaya Spillway. Just to get started at 7, go up. I don't like restrictive limits, even with numbers sometimes. Only when it's scientific, they say that we overfished, and then there's time to do something.
Well, we agree on that thing. If we have any restrictive limit, what I want is I want to be able to tell those people, here's what we can do, here's what's going to happen. If you do this, you get this benefit. Now, if I can't do that, I'm uncomfortable with the regulation.
That's right. It's all scientific.
In this case, we have a regulation. that we're seeing is not getting benefit. Therefore, all right, let's rethink it.
And then we can get some help and maybe get y'all some more money and we take care of all these bad aquatic problems that we have.
Oh, man, I don't know if we have enough time for that, but they're a mess, the bane of my life.
I think there ought to be an organization. I might even try to help start it. I think we need an organization just like Ducks Unlimited, Delta Waterfowl, and all the other ones that are doing things and work on habitat. I think freshwater people need a habitat club or whatever, and raise a few private dollars to help y'all wildlife fishers take care of these grass problems. This is getting terrible.
When I started, and that's been a long time ago, a lot of the old timers back then said, son, habitat is the key to everything. Now we went down the path of doing all the kind of stuff that, some regulations, some Florida bass stopping, all kind of stuff. I was young and new, and we were going to change the world. But you get right down to it, habitat is the main thing. If you have good habitat.
No matter if it's ducks, deer,
that's right.
squirrels, whatever.
That's right.
Well, bottom line is, go on the Department of Wildlife and Fisheries website, you see it on the screen, read the survey, read the study, and then be prepared because you're going to be asked at some point to give your opinion on it. And Mike, on your behalf, we would welcome all opinions, but we'd like for those opinions to be based on science and in fact, and the only way to do that is to be up on it. Thanks for coming by. We appreciate it, and we will get you back on.
Great.
For another day, for another topic.
Yeah, it's easy.
All right. Mike Woods, Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries, Inland Fisheries Program Manager. You're watching Paradise, Louisiana.
Mr. Gary, we're going to miss the morning bite. If you want food and snacks, we better hurry up.
I tell you what, you pump the gas, I'll get the food. Now I'm ready.
Let's go, man.
Visit Cracker Barrel convenience stores before heading fishing or hunting. We have more than you expect.
See what you've been missing when the hunt is on at Simmons Sporting Goods. Hunt like a pro for less with the Moultrie Pro Hunter Tripod Feeder, only $89.99. Plan your hunt with the Moultrie GameSpot D55 Infrared Emerald, now $119.99. See just how big he is with the Moultrie Big Game Scale, a low $16.99. And big things come in small packages like the Moultrie Minicam M80 XT, just $129.99. Shop all the store-wide savings at SimmonsSportingGoods.com.
Fishing. It's where good stories come from. It's about good times and family and friends. It's about taking a couple home for dinner tonight and saving a few for tomorrow. It's all about that and so much more. To CCA, fishing is about enjoying today and making sure tomorrow is even better. To us, fishing comes with a responsibility for the resources we enjoy so much. If fishing means all that to you, then you belong with CCA.
Welcome to Paradise, Louisiana, and welcome to Top Gun. We're going to do a little evening dove hunt with a few of our buddies, and hopefully we'll have a good shoot.
Kobe got it. Kobe got it. I couldn't wait. I'm back.
That's some mosquitoes. And look at my arms. I got ultrathon on and you don't see a one. You don't see a one on exposed skin. That's just to let y'all know the mosquitoes are here. Look. I got ultrathon on. And I got a lot of exposed skin. It's a dove hunt. Kennedy Farm in Mer Rouge, Louisiana. An evening hunt and a morning hunt. Here they are right here. Kobe got the first one. Can't hardly see him because it's just getting daylight. Woo! Well done. Good shot. Man, that was long. A long way, Kobe. I was up there. This is Kobe Daniels. It's with Top Gun Guide Service in Mer Rouge, Louisiana, one of the favorite places to go. Historically, one of the most successful places to go for Paradise, Louisiana. We're all over his website. If you look at his website, you can see us. Kobe, we're going to get started. This is going to sound like a commercial, and if it does sound like a commercial, it is. Because Paradise, Louisiana owes you a lot. When we first got started, we had some of our most successful hunts was with you here in Mer Rouge, you and your dad. So it's a little payback. So don't blow it.
Well, we appreciate it.
And if you get booked up this year and you don't invite me back, this is the last one I do.
I don't blame you. You'll be able to come back anytime.
Kobe, let's talk about the upcoming season right now. All the indicators right now says what?
I mean, we're looking for a good season. We got plenty of grain. We got, they're talking about it's supposed to be a cold winter, which will help. But even if it's not a cold winter, I mean, we still have ducks, and it just depends on the weather. Kind of dictates where the ducks are and what kind of fields they're in, or if they're in the woods. But regardless of the weather, I mean, we're looking for a good season.
Besides that, the duck count all over the country. There's drought in some parts.
Right.
Okay. A hurricane messed up a lot of them down south. How's that going to favor y'all?
I think it's going to help. I mean, we're able to pump water, whether it's dry or raining. Of course, if it's raining, we don't have to pump. We like that. But, if it is dry, we'll pump the fields up within the next 2 weeks, and we'll have some early water for the speckled bellies, and then usually the pintails and the teal and gadwalls shortly after, and hopefully some weather will push some mallards and big ducks down too. But I mean, we got rice, corn, milo, millet, grass fields, timber, cypress breaks. I mean, we got everything it takes to kill a lot of ducks.
And you have killed a lot of ducks.
We have killed a lot of ducks.
Right now we're shooting doves, and you've been covered up with doves the last year. You got dove hunts too? Also, somebody can call you?
We do a few of them, and we don't do it like we do duck hunting, but we can always ride around and find a bunch of doves. So when somebody calls and wants to go, we take them. We don't really advertise dove hunts, but anybody that would like a good dove hunt's welcome to give us a call.
Kobe, have you seen any speckled bellies yet? Here we are, we're almost in the middle of October.
Right.
And you been riding, you seen a few specks down yet?
We have. Last weekend when that cold front come through and it was real windy, pretty much every little pothole had a few geese, and some of the dry fields, they were just, it wouldn't be a lot, but 200, 300 would light out in the dry field feeding. We saw several thousand geese over the place, which is a little earlier than usual.
Since this is a commercial, Kobe, and let me say, you a few years back, y'all were flooded, everything, lost a lot of crop, and it affected ducks. They moved them around. Y'all found them. Y'all had a lot of successful hunts. And then y'all had a drought, okay? And that affected it. I know it affected a couple of goose hunts we was on. I've never had a bad one,
right?
But they weren't as like what we had the years before.
Right.
All indications say it's going to be good.
It does.
Some of your people, because of droughts and the economy, haven't been there. You've gone down on your prices.
We have.
You've done a lot to get ready for this year. You still got some openings. Tell everybody that are watching, this is the commercial we're talking about. Tell us how much you charge a day with accommodations and how much you charge without. Also, how they can get in touch with you.
Okay. we charge for a fully guided with accommodations duck hunt, goose hunt. We charge $350 per day per man, and that is with cabins. That's with guide. It's full accommodations. Without accommodations, we charge $300. That's if you just want to drive up, hunt the morning, and drive home. The easiest way to contact me is my cell phone. The number is 318-351-2025. TopGunGuides.com. That's a good way to contact us. It's got our email addresses and all the information if you need to know, what to bring, or it's got everything on it. So if you'll look that up, and you should be able to get in touch with us with no problem.
Yeah. I'm getting ready to put this camera down. Y'all been shooting already this morning. A little tip about mosquitoes. I put ultracide on this morning, and I sprayed that other stuff on my pants, and they were laying on my pants. I got a lot of exposed skin. I haven't been bitten yet. How you fight the mosquitoes?
Man, I don't know, but that stuff that you were using is the best I've had.
And they're not a sponsor either. I can't get them to give me some. That stuff is expensive. You can find it at Bass Pro, but I tell you what, have you ever seen that many mosquito stores? I mean, really, we're on dry land up here on top.
No water anywhere.
Yeah, I don't understand it, but they're here.
I know it.
They're here. They're still around me. And it's always an hour past sunup. There you go. Nope. Yeah. Yeah.
It's all kinds of stuff.
Oh, look at that.
Around.
That's them long beaks.
Yep.
Huh? You got them here too?
Oh, yeah. We got a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Well, we seen some good flocks this morning. Y'all shot. So we're going to try to get some more, maybe dowling. I hear them shooting over there.
Yeah, they've shot a good bit.
Yeah.
Look right here. Look right
here.
here.
You go. There you go. There you go.
Michael.
Come on cue, Michael. There you go.
Whoa! Good job.
Now the doves are flying like the mosquitoes. Oh, good tree, what you got it?
Listen to my hero.
Jerry Lee Duplantis.
Jerry Lee Duplantis. And the hoghead chief, best in the world. Yeah.
And my good friend Gary Risconi for bringing it up here. Free of charge. No handling charges, no travel expense.
We build tires, but not like anybody else. We build our tires for people. People with places to go and reasons to get there. Like get up to $75 back on 4 qualifying Cooper tires during our Take the Money and Ride event. Get your rebate form and complete terms and conditions at a participating Cooper Tire dealer or CooperTireRebates.com. Life's a road trip. Come on, let's go.
Oh, that's the way I like it.
Nothing's better than boiled seafood, spiced just right.
Oh, yeah.
And Louisiana Fish Fry Products makes it easy to boil right every time.
Can't get enough.
Grab a bag. There's nothing to mix. Just pour and boil.
Oh, now you're cooking.
Crawfish, crab, or shrimp. With Louisiana Fish Fry Products, you got boiling down easy.
Oh, that's the way I like it. Oh.
I Ask me about my Tempur-Pedic.
Ask me how fast I fall asleep.
Why not talk to someone who's sleeping on the most highly recommended bed in America?
Ask me about staying asleep.
Tempur-Pedic owners are more satisfied than owners of any traditional mattress brand.
Ask me how it feels after 10 years.
Tempur-Pedic, the most highly recommended bed in America.
Ask about Tempur-Pedic at O'Lynn's, where you know you always get the guaranteed low price. O'Lynn's is the only store in Baton Rouge and Lafayette with the full line of Tempur-Pedics.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana. As we talked about, Garrett, at the top of the show, October's a busy month for events. They have their banquets. They've also got a rodeos, tournaments coming up, and you throw in the hunting season.
Let's talk about the fishing rodeos coming up right now.
This weekend, if you're watching this on Thursday, got the LA Saltwater Series Speckled Trout Tournament. That's going to be going on over at Seabrook Harbor Marina. Part of that catch and release to get data to track those fish in Lake Pontchartrain. You need to sign up. Go to lasaltwaterseries.com.
Didn't you see them putting out buoys and stuff?
Right. They're going to be radio not collared, but insertions into the speckled trout to where these little transmitters will send signals so that they can track these fish on a year-round basis and find out. You know, everybody talks about where the fish in Pontchartrain go. Do they stay? Do they go? Do they come back? Do they move in or out? This will finally give us a good answer. Similar study was done on Calcasieu, and some tremendous results, and a few surprises came out of that, so we'll see how that works. Also for the kayakers this weekend, Fall and Tide, Delta Marina and Empire. If you want to get signed up, they're expecting probably over 200 boats. I think this is the 4th largest in the nation. Go to bckfc.org. You can get signed up there.
Good. There'll be some of our people there, and we'll be bringing some of that back to you because the people that are watching Paradise Louisiana don't get it. I want to mention the Star Wars Banquet. You know,
big time.
Let me tell you a good thing about going to the Star Wars Banquet. Even if you're not a winner, those winners are there. They're giving out information. I can remember talking to Dudley and then people that fish in that area, and Dudley getting out a lot of information. All the guys were there. Tofield used to come in sometimes. Some of the captains are there, and the winners. What's the guy's name that
Doc
won?
Weiss, he's going to be there. I ran into Bootsy Toops last week. He said he's going to be there getting his new boat.
Yeah, but he almost lucky. Some people didn't think that fish would hold up, and they didn't weigh it in. Bootsy Toops is lucky. He wears a Paradise Louisiana hat.
Yeah, but he's also good. He's lucky, but
he's lucky. I'll tell you why he's lucky, because that guy would have waited for him. No, he is very good.
Well, you'll see him there.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of things. You look at our event calendar, there's a lot of things coming up. And don't want you to forget, Delta Waterfowl got a banquet coming up on November the 1st, though. So just follow your calendar and watch our event calendar and show up to these things. That's how we keep in business on.
That's right. Well, that's part of what we do, is keep you informed on the events that are coming
Stay tuned. We'll be back with the Fishing Report, the Berkeley Abu Garcia Fishing Report.
Not only that, the Silverado's powertrain warranty is 40,000 miles more than Ford.
And this workhorse gives you the power of a V8 with the highway fuel economy of a V6. Incredible, right? That was an amazing test drive. I agree.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Now during Chevy Truck Month, get 0% APR financing for 60 months or get the 2012 Chevy Silverado Custom Sport with a total value of $7,000. Plus, trade up for an additional $1,000 trade-in allowance. Hurry in before they're all gone.
You might think you hate health food, but you love gumbo. You love shrimp. You love crawfish. You love fish. Nah, you don't hate health food. You love Louisiana seafood. That's why Blue Cross is partnering with the Louisiana Seafood Board. Visit LouisianaSeafoodForLife.com to find healthy recipes, vote on your favorite seafood dish, and enter to win weekly prizes. Brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Louisiana and its Louisiana Two-Step program.
The 2012 Louisiana Saltwater Series is the state's premier saltwater tournament. Hosted by the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries, this is a catch, tag, and release tournament. There are 6 qualifying events held across the state's coast, plus a championship. Entry fee is $200 for each 2-man team, plus there is a youth division of 2 anglers under 16 per team. This is a 100% payout plus prize tournament. For details and to register, visit lasaltwaterseries.com.
Introducing Powerade Ion 4, complete with 4 electrolytes lost in sweat. Ion 4, the complete sports drink.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana. Time for our Abu Garcia fishing report. And I got to tell you, Gary, the fishing for this fall is really shaping up to be good saltwater-wise. Over there in the east, Hopedale, Shell Beach, Delacroix, trout, more and more trout moving in. And some good news, Mike Gallo's been going to some of those rigs in Lake Bourne and picking up some speckled trout in there, too. Redfish continue to be caught everywhere. And some of the best news I got came from Ryan Lambert. Said he made the best catch of speckled trout on the west side of the Mississippi River across from Buras that he has had since the oil spill. And that is really big news that those speckled trout are starting to get active on that side.
Well, you know, based on your report from Delacroix, I think that's the hottest place going right now. Dow Jams drove all the way from West Monroe down there, so you know they must be biting. They spent 2 or 3 days, they caught about 170 trout, and then plus the redfish. But most of them, they were so excited about the trout, and they were good size fishing over there out of Sweetwater. You're talking about Venice. I got one report from Yellow Cotton Bay. I'm from Doug Welbon and them boys and his crew. They were over there fishing Yellow Cotton Bay, and they were catching some good fish, mostly Hospital Bay. And when they come out the canal, you go, you know, you go toward Hospital Bay, and they catch them over there. They catch them on live shrimp when you can get them.
It's a ticket.
But yeah, the saltwater cricket, you call them. That's it. Well, you know, but the people downriver, they had a drop off. They were catching redfish like crazy. But Don Eastland and them, some of the people, they wound up with 7 one day, and they're still catching some of the saltwater stripers. I mean, I'll say that the river stripers were in there.
Central part of the state doing good too. Fish are moving north, Rambo, Palmetto, all those areas north.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. The Palmetto going in the back of them canals. Live shrimps are still a big bait. But let me tell you another place, the Lodge. I was at a function the other night, and a guy was asking me where to fish, and I was telling him, Delacroix, he said, I'm going to give you one, but I don't want you to use my name. He said, my buddies will pound
Put him
me.
in the witness protection plan?
Yeah, oh, yeah. He said, don't tell him, but they're fishing Lake Michoud, down around the Lodge, they're fishing the East Bank. They're fishing a unique reel. They're fishing double rigs. They're using a Bayou chub, and then on the bottom they're using a gup and a spinner. A lot of times they're biting the Bayou chub, but the gup, for some reason, attract them. So that's on my saltwater.
Well, offshore, before we get to freshwater, a big tuna came in. Could be a new state record. It's unofficial at this point, but Darryl Carpenter called in Saturday and said that some recreational anglers ended up with a 250-pound yellowfin, and there has been some big tuna caught. You saw that a couple weeks ago.
We had a 205, a 180, 175. You know, when I was there for the ladies' rodeo, my brother and them all were getting out. I was catching some amberjack too. You know, amberjack in there. I thought the lemon fish was going to die down, but we had some lemon fish were coming in. All right, we're going to talk freshwater right now. We ain't got much time, but I'm going to tell you what, you wouldn't think there was a lot of fish caught. But in the Chaffalot Spillway right now, the guy was talking about sac-a-lait. You got to find clear water. Some of them places they were catching, now water's moving, it's amazing. I sent some guys over there, I told them they were catching them. They went to Adams Landing. They had to ride a long way to find clear water. They didn't catch as many fish. The boys fishing pigeon, fishing up north around Sorrel, northern part of Sorrel. They're catching bass and they're catching sac-a-lait. Black and short truce is the key. Black and short truce. And by the way, unexpected place right now, Steve Fontana and Vince Russo, last week they caught some fish. They caught them in Grassy Lake, sac-a-lait on shiners.
All right, there it is. Plus you got the hunting seasons coming up. Get out there with the bow if you're so inclined. We got the gun seasons right around the corner. Get your duck blinds in shape because that ain't far away either. We're just a few weeks away.
A lot of doves in the state still right now in the state. So.
Busy time of the year. Hope you'll join us again next week for another exciting edition of Paradise Louisiana.
Paradise, Louisiana, powered by Chevrolet, would also like to thank these sponsors.
Simmons Sporting Goods, the South's largest hunting outfitters. Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company. Aerial Access, the leader in aerial work process. Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change, Cracker Barrel Convenience Store. We have more than you expect. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana, Farm Bureau Insurance, Louisiana Fish Fry Products, Demco, Area Wholesale Tire Company with tire programs for tire dealers.